clean energy initiatives, development of water resources and river conservation plans. Further, through convergence of programs, greater impact from money spent will be achieved. Total expenditure estimates thus stand at rupees 17,94,892 crores. To finance this expenditure, it is estimated that the gross tax receipts will be rupees 13,64,524 crores. After devolving the share of the states, the centre will have rupees 9,77,258 crores. Non-tax revenues in the current financial year will be rupees 2,12,505 crores, and the capital receipt other than borrowing will be rupees 73,952 crores. With the above estimates, the fiscal deficit of 4.5% of GDP and a revenue deficit will be rupees 2.9% of the GDP. Honourable members will recall that it was the initiative of the NDA government under Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee where we had made it compulsory that 10% allocation in the planned funds for the northeastern regions had been made, non-lapsable in nature. From the current budget, we have introduced a statement which will separately show the plan allocation for northeastern regions. In financial year 2014-15, an allocation of rupees 53,706 crores has been made for the northeastern region. We have further made an allocation of rupees 98,030 crores for women and 81,075 crores for child welfare. Madam Speaker, I shall now present my tax proposals. Taxation are important for every economy. To fund government expenditure on security and welfare of people, the interim budget 2014-15, my predecessors had set a tax revenue collection target of direct taxes as well as indirect taxes, which appear to be ambitious. I propose to retain these targets. It shall be my endeavour to achieve the same. The impact of tax changes now have of course been factored in the budget estimates of 2014-15. While preparing the tax proposals, I had to encounter challenge of an extremely limited fiscal space. Nonetheless, I propose to introduce measures to revive the economy, to promote investment in manufacturing sector, rationalize tax provisions so that I can reduce litigation, as also to address the problem of inverted duty structures in certain areas. I propose to give some relief to the individual taxpayers and certain sectors of the economy. Direct taxes. Let me begin with the direct taxes. Madam Speaker, I do not propose to make any changes in the tax rate. However, with a view to provide small and marginal taxpayers and relief to small and marginal taxpayers and senior citizens, I propose to increase the personal income tax exemption limit by rupees 50,000, that is from rupees 2 lakhs to rupees 2.5 lakhs, in the case of all individual taxpayers who are below the age of 60 years. Similarly, I also propose to raise the exemption limit from rupees 2.5 lakhs to rupees 3 lakhs in the case of senior citizens. I do not propose to make any change in the rate of surcharge either for corporates or individuals, HUFs or firms. The education cess for all taxpayers will continue at 3%. In the year 2012-13, the gross domestic savings were 30.1% of the GDP, as compared to 33.7% in the year 2009-10. Increase in savings and their productive use leads to higher economic growth. The households are the main contributors to the savings. Therefore, to encourage domestic investments in long-term savings, I propose to increase the investment limit under Section 80C to all income taxpayers from rupees 1 lakh to rupees 1.5 lakhs. Housing continues to be an area of concern for the middle and the lower class due to high cost of financing. Therefore, to reduce the burden, I propose to increase the deduction limit on account of interest on loans in respect of self-occupied property from rupees 1.5 lakh to rupees 2 lakhs. Infrastructure and construction sectors have a significant role in the economy. Growth in these sectors is necessary to revive the economy and generate jobs for millions of our young boys and girls. As stated earlier, with a view to attract large-scale investment in these sectors, I have provided a conducive tax regime for infrastructure investment trusts and real estate investment trusts to be set up in accordance with regulations of the Securities and Exchange Board of India. The manufacturing sector is of paramount importance to our economy. This sector has a multiplier effect on creation of jobs. Last year, an incentive in form of investment allowance to manufacturing companies which invest more than 100 crores in plant and machinery during the year 1st April 2013 to 31st March 2015 was announced. Considering the need to incentivize smaller entrepreneurs, I propose to provide an investment allowance at the rate of 15% to a manufacturing company which invests more than 25 crores in any year in plant and machinery. This benefit will be available for 3 years, that is investment up to 31/3/2017. The scheme announced last year will continue to operate in parallel till 31/3/2015. I also propose to extend the investment-linked deduction to 2 sectors, namely slurry pipes for transportation of iron ore and semiconductor wafer fabrication manufacturing units. This will boost investment in these 2 sectors. Supply of power continues to be a major area of concern for the country. Therefore, instead of the annual extensions, I propose to extend the 10-year tax holiday to undertakings which begin generation, distribution and transmission of power by 31/3/2017. The stability of our policy will help investors to plan their investments better. Foreign portfolio investors who have invested more than 8 lakh crores, that is about $130 billion in India, one of their concern is uncertainty of taxation on account of characterization of their income. Moreover, the fund managers of these foreign investors remain outside India under the apprehension of their presence in India may have adverse tax consequences. With a view to put an end to this uncertainty and to encourage these fund managers to shift to India, I propose to provide that income arising out of portfolio investors with transactions in securities will be treated as capital gains. The concessional rate of tax of 15% on dividend received by Indian companies from foreign subsidies has resulted in enhanced repatriation of funds from abroad. I propose to continue the concessional rate of 15% foreign dividends without any sunset date. This will ensure stability of taxation policy. In order to augment long-term foreign borrowings for Indian companies, I propose to extend the eligible dates of borrowings in foreign currency from 31/6/2016 to 30th June 2017, from 30th June 16 to 17, for a concessional rate of 5% on interest payments. I also propose to extend this tax incentive to all types of bonds instead of only infrastructure bonds. I hope this measure will enable the companies to step up their investments in India. In order to reduce litigation on transfer pricing issues, I propose to make certain changes in transfer pricing regulations. An advance pricing agreement scheme was introduced in the year 2012. It has received a good response. I propose to strengthen the tax administration set up by the APA to expedite the disposal of applications. Further, I propose to introduce a rollback provision of the APA scheme so that the APA entered into for a future transaction may also be applied to international transactions undertaken in the previous 4 years to specified circumstances. In order to align transfer pricing regulations in India with the best available practices, I propose to introduce range concept for determination of arm's length price. However, the arithmetic mean concept will continue to apply where the number comparable is inadequate. The relevant data under analysis and appropriate rules will be prescribed. As per the existing provisions of the transfer pricing regulations, only 1 year data is allowed to be used for comparable analysis with some exception. I propose to amend this regulation to allow use of multiple year data. Necessary legislative amendments to give effect to the above proposals, including those relating to Authority for Advance Ruling, Income Tax Settlement Commission, will be moved in the current session of Parliament. In the case of mutual funds, other equities-oriented funds, the capital gains arising out of transfer of units held for more than a year is taxed at a concessional rate of 10%, whereas direct investments in banks and other debt instruments attract a higher rate of tax. This allows tax arbitrage opportunities. This arbitrage has hardly benefited retail investors as their percentage is very small amongst the mutual fund investors. With a view to remove this tax arbitrage, I propose to increase the rate of tax for long-term capital gains from 10% to 20% on transfer of units of such funds.